the creative process of making your character painful? I mean, it's an awesome movie, but it's very hard to watch sometimes and very beautiful at the same time. Was it painful?
It was a little bit painful, but I have no regrets. But I had to work hard to go to a place that was difficult to make the performance grounded.
The birth of death, I like it, but at the same time, it's scary. What do you think about it? I mean, if I was about to die and this birth came to me, it would be very shocking.
Yeah, it would be shocking.
What's your point of view?
What's my point of view about what?
About a birth being the representation of death.
Well, I think it's marvelous because it's so fantastical. It gives, I think because this movie has a sort of magical fairy tale-like quality, it gives us an opportunity to consider issues and ideas in a way we might not otherwise. You know, this bird is sort of recognizable as a bird, but is fantastical, is shape changing, not exactly like a macaw. It talks, it sings, it's otherworldly, and I think it's so. The fantasy of it allows us to go along with the story, which is a fantasy, of course. Yeah.
Because it's easier to deal with these things in that environment, right?
Correct, exactly.
So, do you think there's no life after death? What do you think about it?
Well, I believe in the mystery of life. And so I'm a spiritual person for sure. And I believe in what I don't know.
I'd like to talk about the mom, because in Latin America, the mom is not the usual mom, or the way that a mom should behave with her daughter, right? She's dealing with a lot of pain and she's like evading this. And it's like, it's easy at the beginning, like judge her, right? And, oh, she's not a good mom that's there for their daughter. What do you think about it? I mean,
well, I think this is why I was so intrigued by this part, because she's making choices that are, they're not necessarily great choices as a parent. But I would say that she is so paralyzed with fear, paralyzed by fear, and in such a state of denial that she's making choices that are unhinged. But I understand why she is. And that's why this is particularly interesting. She's also isolated herself, enormously isolated herself, and from everyone, and particularly from her own child, under the most dire of circumstances. But I understand how she got here. And so I think it makes it an interesting story to explore as a result, and an interesting character to really sink your teeth into.
Do you read about similar works about death and fantasy to build your character?
No.
How do you? No.
No, I didn't. I mean, I came to this sort of with my own experience. I've suffered loss in my own life, as many people have. That doesn't mean it's not unique to me, of course. So I've had grief, and I'm a mother, and so that kind of life experience I was able to bring to bear on this role.
Anything in the whole world. You'll be okay. Promise. Promise.
What about the daughter, Tuesday? It's it's a very lovely character, a very brave character.
Yes, very brave. Yeah.
Maybe she's the real master of the mom.
Yes, she's the parent. She is teaching the mother. She's the parent to the parent.
Yes.
And it's a real role reversal, I think, until the end of the film, and at which point I believe that it switches back, and now Zora, the character that I play, is able to parent her daughter at the very end of the film in a way that's heartbreaking, but she's able to do it.
What do you expect from the movie? I mean, in terms of the audience, what do you expect them to feel, to reflect? What do you expect?
Well, I'm hoping that people, of course, will be entertained by it. I'm hoping that it will engender conversations around the themes of the film and discussions about grief and loss and denial in a way that maybe people aren't always comfortable talking about. And so, I hope that people see it in theaters to have a sense of community while watching the film, because community is everything, particularly at a time of great sorrow, grief, loss. Often people isolate themselves, and I think that if you can connect with one another, you can find a way through.
Thanks. Gracias.
Gracias.